So we are here, and basically this is the show where we like to take interest in people such as yourselves, run through the story of your life a little bit, and learn what different knowledge nuggets we can extract from the experiences of young Andre. And personally, I like talking to people that are like younger, because y'all be like the passionate people pushing shit forward, and a lot of people that I know are not really in that same place.
Well,
Um,
yeah, personally myself, I always say this. I'd rather die being a somebody than live being a nobody. You know what I'm trying to say?
mm. Yeah, I know a lot of people that are like more on the I'd rather have a mortgage and stability tip at this point in my life. And I'm like,
Yeah,
fair
yeah.
enough. So with that though, I have like a bit of an opening question to get the ball rolling, which I always love it when it's like the other direction, younger folk. But we do need to know a little bit, where does young Andre start his story? Like, where are you born in this world?
Well, I'm from Quebec, like Montreal. Born in Montreal, but I grew up in Griffith Park or Longueuil, if any of you guys know where that is, Griffith
Yeah,
Park.
we are Montreal, my guy. Well, not all of us. I'm in Montreal. So
Me, I'm
like,
from Longueuil, or like a little area, Griffith Park. Most people from where I live know where it is, but like if you're from Montreal, it's not the most known area. So
nah, I know Greenfield Park a little bit. I do know what you're talking about because most people couldn't point at it on a map,
exactly, it's like
myself included.
I
But
usually
I
say
know
St.
where it is.
Lambert. I usually say St. Lambert because like people mostly know where St. Lambert is. So I'm like St. Lambert or Longueuil, and then they're like So I'm like okay.
Yeah, fair enough. So that's where it all comes through. And with that, I do have my little bit of an opening question that I like to ask everyone that matters kind of where you're at a little bit. And it's a little bit of a story. And it starts with my girlfriend. And she's like washing the dishes one time. And basically, how it works is she's got her phone playing, and she's got that Black Eyed Peas song, the "I Got a Feeling." Ooh, she's vibing, she's dancing, and she's like
Yes.
doing her thing. And I look at her, and I'm like, "Yo, when the fuck did this song become chores music?" Cause like this song in particular is interesting to me, because like once upon a time I was like about 10 years back, in the clubs and whatnot. This song would be like the best
The
song of
song,
the night.
yeah.
Like everybody drunk, dancing type shit. It's a party vibe. 10 years goes by, the song doesn't really change at all because it's a song, but we change so much as people. But that now it's dishes music. It's like go to the gym music. It's like it's just moved in its life to be like almost a wedding track or some shit like
Well, like
that.
I feel like it's like that happens with all music at some point. Like I feel like the generations change and like the music. Like look, like my parents are like closer to 60. Like I'm like my
Yo,
parents are
hold up.
pretty.
We're gonna get to your parents soon. We're like halfway through the build up. We're
Oh,
gonna get
okay,
into
okay,
that.
okay, okay. My bad.
It's
I was gonna
all
say
set up, my guy. But yeah,
music. So the music, it's like what they used to listen to is like they hate rap music. They hate rap music. My parents, they play it out loud and they're like, oh, turn it off, turn it off. But like it's because they didn't listen to it. Like it's like generations, music's changed, things, people's opinions. You know what I mean?
facts. Um, so like with that though, because like you're saying, shit changes, and kind of
Yeah.
like it got me thinking though a lot too about just the evolution and stuff, right? Like kind of like one of the things that changes is how y'all like music, and then we go and just jack that to do dishes to it while y'all partying and shit. So like music kind of plays different roles also based on where you're at in life.
Oh,
And
for
then
sure.
I realized, kind of going through interviews and the stories of artists and different things like that, most people kind of start their story in that adolescent phase, and they get their identity, they start writing, they start developing an interest in hip hop or this or that or whenever it may happen. But realistically, like music kind of always around us since like the very beginning of life, like depending
Oh,
on
yeah.
what. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Me too. I started playing. Oh
We'll
wait.
get to it. We'll get to it.
Yeah, yeah, my
Trust me.
bad. My
It's a
bad.
little bit more. It's just a token opening question. And then like because that context of shit, like it's like it's not really when it starts. Like you're probably born in a hospital and shit. Music be playing in the room. Like me, I remember being young. My dad's got all these gray boxes and shit. Like I'm 5 years old. He's got amps and like fucking radios and tape decks. Probably wildly more tech in boxes than you had. Wires and shit going out to speakers, busting like Led Zeppelin tapes and shit. And then at nighttime there'd be like fucking MC Mario's club mix busting, because that shit was hot for a minute. I don't know if it's
Hmm.
still hot, to be honest. Anyway, and then like mom's is more on like this whole musical tip, and she's got like love songs and other kinds of vibes, and all these things kind of like play into this realm of childhood shit that a lot of people kind of neglect when they tell their stories and stuff. So I was hoping though you could run us back to literally being as young as you could remember and walk us through a lot of the musical sounds and realities that existed in your world. And what's extra interesting is because you're young, y'all got like the internet and shit by the time you're young. So it's
Yeah, exactly.
wildly different than most people on my side watching this.
It's like it's like the internet like 20 years ago. It's a lot easier to go places now than it was 20 years ago because like all social media and shit. Like I see like hundreds of people blowing up on TikTok every fucking day. You know what I mean? It's just so much more easy because like you have more platforms, more reach, more everything. It's like anyone can blow up nowadays. I believe it's like not like it was 20 years ago where you literally had to like build off of a record label or something. You know what I mean? Now you can be an independent artist more, and it's like you can make like a career off being an independent artist just off of social media.
Yeah, that's actually truer now than ever before. Yeah. Actually, I had a conversation today about live shows and social medias and shit. But with that, though, I was hoping, though, if you could tell us more about your young experiences, like what your parents was all about, and kind of like the
Yeah.
beginning years of you in that sense.
Okay. Okay. Honestly, I didn't really like pick up. I saw when I was younger. I sang a lot. Like I used to sing. I used to love to sing. That's really my music. I started doing the guitar
Yo,
when I
but what were your parents bumping?
my parents. Oh, sorry, my bad.
No, no worries, man.
Okay. Honestly, just hip hop, reggae. My parents love Jamaican music. They love Jamaican music. My parents go there a lot, so a lot of reggae, Bob Marley, stuff like that. A lot of hip hop too. A lot of radio stuff. My parents in the '60s, all that stuff too. You know what I mean?
So they'd be listening to that kind of vibes, and then when you're young, you like to sing like as a fan of it when you're around, or like at that
I
point,
used
do you want to like actually have like is that like your dream when you're a kid?
No, I didn't. I actually didn't really know when I was actually a kid. I wanted to be an FBI agent, but that's like not gonna happen. It's kind of unrealistic. I didn't really
I think it's hilarious that you picked the FBI agent as
like.
unrealistic. Let's go be a musician.
It's I don't know. I feel like I have a better chance of being a musician than like I feel like you have to do like years of like training and all this like stuff, and it's like so many more factors. Like it is hard being a musician. It's like one of the hardest things to do, like be a successful musician. But like you know what I'm saying? It's like I feel like working for like the government's top agency is probably like harder. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
don't just anyone.
Yeah, I definitely like agree with you. It's one of those things you never think about.
No, because I used to watch a lot of movies when I was younger too. I used to love movies, and I was like, FBI was cool, guns, they get to shoot people, they were good guys.
Mm. What are some of your favorite movies when you're young?
I used to love superhero movies, bro. Spider-Man, all kinds of stuff like that. Superhero movies, basically movies with like heroes and stuff like that. But as I got older, mm, things are pretty good. You know what I mean? Anything that interests me.
That's fair. So basically, you're running that when you're. Do you have any other hobbies or stuff that you're up to when you're little?
I when I was growing up, I used to play basketball and hockey, but I stopped that when I got older, like maybe around 19, 18. I still play hockey, but I stopped basketball around 18.
That's fair. So where do you end up going to high school?
I went to Centennial Regional High School.
And at what point do you like? Okay, this is like. At what point do you start to like go from being a place where like your parents be like bumping music around you to like you start to like develop some ownership of your interest and start investigating your own musical tastes?
Maybe when I was like 11, 10, I started doing guitar lessons, and I started doing singing lessons at the same time. Uh,
Okay.
we did that till maybe I was around like 12, 12. Then I went to high school, and then it's like I was more focused on sports throughout high school, and I kept to myself more on high school, that level. But I picked up music, but I didn't like make it known to anyone. You know what I mean? I used to just keep it to myself and stuff because like I love to talk to people, but I didn't like to give too much information about myself. If you know what I'm saying? Information, excuse me.
Right. And when you were like younger, those, because this is all about you. Like, how did you find music? Like, how did you physically go out there and stay up to date with what new music is coming, and how did you navigate those worlds as a little one?
Honestly, I used to go on. I was always like, because like my generation is like the generation of technology, I'd say.
Yeah,
So
that's why I'm leading you back there.
Yeah, I was like, I had like a phone at like, or not an iPhone, I had an iPod, not a phone. I had an iPod at like 9 years old or something. So like I was like, YouTube was just starting up, but like I used
Like
to go
the
on
apps
YouTube.
iPod, like the one with all
Yeah,
that.
like the original iPod.
No, the original iPod. I
Not
don't
the
know.
original one, but like the one where it's like
Yeah,
it's like the first like a screen, like a
yeah. It
legit
looked
screen.
like an iPhone, but it was not an
Yeah,
iPhone.
exactly. I couldn't explain it. There you go.
Okay, so you have that shit at 9.
Yeah.
That's like untethered access to the internet and shit at 9 years old.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
That's wild. What do 9-year-olds do on the internet? I don't think
Honestly,
anyone knows the answer to that question in my age group.
honestly, I just used to go on YouTube and watch like these stupid ass videos and what do you call it? Games, because like I'm a 9 year old, right? Like I'm not thinking that much. It's just an iPod. Like I use it for fun.
Yeah, no, that's wild. So it's just innocent shit. But so you're not like scoping up music or anything. You're just like watching goofy whatevers. But like I guess you have access to like the entire
No, no, I started
history of
listening like obviously because like I always was interested in music. Even like when I was younger, I just kept it to myself and stuff like that. Because like a lot of people, especially in school, they'll like, yo, if you want to be like, say, I personally, I wouldn't consider myself I'm a rapper, but not like a full time rapper. I do more like I do all like a few genres. You know what I'm trying to say? I wouldn't like specifically say that, but like if you tell people that, especially when I was younger, they probably like laugh at you. They're like, yo, it's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? It's like one out of a billion. So I kept it to myself growing up.
Say a word. So you just kind of worked on your craft low key to avoid having people discourage you from actually pursuing it.
Yeah, like I got sick. Like 3 years ago, I started thinking. I was like, yo, I have some pretty good bars. I was like, maybe I should like do something with this. I was like, I don't like my friends. They tell me like, yo, you can like you have some hot bars, bro. Like some serious shit. Like maybe give it a shot. And I kept thinking about it. And then the pandemic like happened, and
So up until that point, right? Like you're just doing it low key, focused on sports, and you're not really showing a lot of people that you actually do this.
yeah, I was focused on my sports and my schooling. I'm in college at the moment.
Fair. What are you studying?
I'm just studying general social sciences. Excuse me. I'm gonna be trying to go into university soon. I have like another semester at Champlain College. Oh yeah.
That's dope. So what makes you like okay? So you like your boys are telling you have hot bars and whatnot. COVID kicks in, and that's like the catalyst for you to like really start to like
Well,
focus
because
on
like
music.
basically there was like nothing going on, right? Because we're all locked in our house. So basically all day I would just write, practice, write, practice, write, practice. And it's like I was like, why am I practicing if I'm not gonna go to the studio and record? You know what I mean? Like, so I said, fuck it, why not give it a shot? And then I went, and then like I recorded this hot verse with someone I knew. And he's like, yo, are you sure this is your first time on like, he literally said this to me. He's like, are you sure this is your first time using like going on to record? He's like, because you were way better than me the first time. He's like, you have a nice flow and everything. And I was like, oh, for real? And I was like, and then basically ever since that day, shout out to my producer, Miguel Hubert. Miguel Ibai, excuse me, my bad. Um, yeah, that's about it.
Where'd you go record?
I go record in St. Hubert because I know my boy, like I said, Miguel Ibai. He's a chill guy, gives me makes a really good producer. I'll get to him, really good producer, I'd say. Probably up there in Quebec right now, I'd say. Well, like, it's not like big time.
No, fair enough. There's a lot of people here, but it's always interesting to like cause like take Greenfield Park as an example. I found out about Duskad, and Duskad kind of unlocked like this whole little world for me of what's happening in Greenfield Park, and like it's honestly just got like its own little bubbling scene that's like
Oh, yeah.
adjacent to Montreal. Like it's better branding to call it Montreal for the sake of Google, but
Yeah.
like in general, it's like, yo, say where Greenfield Park has some shit popping off right now. And like I don't actually know how much the live elements are, but there seems to be like this ecosystem of artists that are just bubbling there that like we don't
Well,
probably think a lot about because we Montreal.
I think you did an interview with some artist. I liked his music. I don't really know him personally. I think his name's Grizzly, something Grizzly.
Uh,
Grizzly.
Tizzy Fields.
Yeah. Sorry, my bad. I like his music. I know he's from Youthful Park 2 or something.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I like
He's
his.
And then yeah, there's a few of them. There's Mannequin Hotel guys from around there. There's a few of these dudes that seem to be popping off. And from what I've been told, is more than I obviously know of. Because if you know of like 5, there's a lot more people doing it that you
Oh,
just
for
never heard
sure.
of.
There's a few artists I know here too. It's like It's hard though here because like it's like you said, we don't have the appeal of Montreal. It's like we have to try to like go into Montreal and to like make our name known in Montreal. But like, I consider Montreal my city. You know what I mean? Like rather than Youthful Park, but I don't say I say MTL. I say I'm from.
Yeah, I'm with that. To be fair, even living here, right? Like I'm in NDG. There's not a lot happening in NDG. I gotta go probably just as far of a travel distance and time as you do to go make something happen. Because the city's kind of like big cities are weird like that. They're cool, but they're so big. There's so much that it's hard to cut through the noise in a lot of ways. Where I don't know. I don't know about Greenfield Parks like actual live scene geography. I feel like you probably have to come to Montreal, but.
I think it's like this nice little area here. It's like nice little suburb area, you know. Grew up here. It was nice. All my friends are from here. It's a beautiful place here to live here. Nice little place to live.
That's fair. So like when it comes to music, right? Like what kind of stuff inspires you when you get into it? Like who are some of the people like you grew up thinking are like these are the dopest motherfuckers?
Oh, honestly, I grew up on that old school stuff. A lot of people my generation they grew up on like rappers that grew up in like 2010, 2011. Me, I like it was like I used to listen to like Biggie, Warren G, Nas, Big L, you know what I mean? Like all these like lyricists and like with flows and shit. Tupac to an example too. I used to listen to all these like lyrical artists from the 90s and stuff like that. Some even the early 2000s, Big Joe, Fat Joe, you know what I mean? All these artists. And honestly, they gave me like a perception of like how like a flow. Like a lot of people I realize when it comes to music, they don't have that flow when they're rapping. It's just like they're saying it, but they don't like doesn't sound as clean, you know what I mean? Like a Biggie Smalls type of flow. Like he had honestly, in my opinion, Biggie had the nastiest flow out there.
Okay, define flow. Like break that down for the people who may not get it.
Um like you can say something, like you can rap in a mic, let's say this, right? But if you don't have the flow, like your voice, it doesn't flow properly. It doesn't sound like smooth or like it doesn't go with the beat. Like it doesn't work. Like I know people who are like they're lyricists, like they probably get like better bars than me, but they don't have a flow like me. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like it really it's like it's it's something like you. I believe it's not everyone has. Like you can. That's what I believe. You can be a lyrical. You can be a lyricist. And that's one good thing. You can be a lyricist, but you cannot have the flow. I think I'm very lucky with that. That I come like lyrics come to me naturally. I can make bars like this, but like as well, I could flow. I just need to be like you know in my zone and stuff like that, in the mood.
Yeah.
Music is all about it's all about emotions and relations. I find at the end of the day, you're not gonna listen to someone's music you can't relate to at all. Like everyone listens to music for relation, in my personal opinion. Except like if you're listening to like a hype track, you know what I mean? That might just be it hype. But like music is mostly relation. But people how can relate to the person's story or what they're saying in that song.
Yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming from in a lot of ways with that, especially with the flow. I feel like it's like an eternal debate in my life, just in the nature of it, because like flow's weird. Also, content is an interesting subject where effectively I find y'all are a lot more invested in relatability, whereas I feel like other generations are more impressed by grandiosity. And that's like a super interesting shift where it's like, I don't know, like I guess what y'all define as cool is a little bit different. So it's creating like a different dynamic with it. However, I do think you're right about the flow perspective, and I think that's what's most interesting about what you brought up with regards to the people is you picked a bunch of dudes with tricky flows and are like, yeah, that shit was cleanly delivered. Y'all ain't doing it right. And I appreciated that.
Exactly.
Cause like you, this guy hits me up on Insta and sends me this little 7-pack of little fucking 1-minute video things he's got, and I was impressed by the versatility of the flows. I was like, say a word. Like this guy's got flow. I don't know.
I think you're talking about me, right?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure. Yeah. Like
I don't know that many people that actually sent me a 7-pack on Instagram without a bunch of other shit. So that no.
It's like I don't know, cool, man. You just gotta. I just said, fucking, might as well give it a shot, right? Like.
Yeah. But I thought the flows were like versatile and like there is something to like the technique that you bring to the table. Like as far as the content goes, I'm like that was also versatile. Like it's almost like you created. Now that was too. Honestly, the fact that you sent me that Instagram post was super interesting to me because it's like that's a demo. You created a 7 little snippet demo. It's not even 8 minutes. It showcases a bunch of shit. And I'm like left with huh, why the fuck did I never think of doing that? You know, like, or I'm sure other people may have thought it. I never did. And I'm like, damn, that's a
Because
really
like
good
at the end of
use
the
of
day,
Instagram.
at the end of the day, I feel like it's like if you can show what you can do more, you can relate. Like I said, you can relate to more people. You can switch. If you like, not everyone's gonna fuck with a certain flow. Is what I'm trying to say. Like I have some songs with people, some people they don't like vibe to it as much, and that's completely. But then another group will say, "Yo, this is your hottest song." It's all about relation at the end of the day, in my opinion. Like I said before.
What do you relate to the most?
Honestly, it depends on my emotions. To be honest with you, it really depends on my emotions. Like everything I've said, like I say this personally, everything I preach, I believe in. Like everything I say that I rap about, I 100% believe in, or like sing about too as well. I believe in this. I don't just say it to say it like some people like cap. Everything I'm saying, I 100% mean and I 100% believe is gonna happen.
I believe that. You look me like dead ass in the eye with the most serious look ever. I appreciate you. No, this is fun. I fucks with you. Um,
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
I'm also super curious because I don't talk. You're 20, I think. One of your tracks
Yeah.
said you're 20, and that
Yeah.
you'd been rapping for 3 years or something. I was like,
Well,
fair
like I
enough.
started like yeah on the low. Like I only it's like basically it's been about a year now around. I've like been putting stuff or like just started putting stuff up.
So I guess what's really interesting for me, and I'm hoping that all the other old cats watching this, is that you're like the actual Gen Z rapper dude, like the real
Yeah.
ones, and y'all are like the fresh blood coming into the game. So in a sense, it's like, what does young Andre even care about? Like, what is important to a young Andre in this game? That is interesting to
Honest,
me.
honestly, a lot of people might laugh when I say this. Like, I want to be the first one to like. I say this, like I said this in one of my bars. I want to be what Drake was to the six. I want to put MTL in the mix. No one really here has like really like. There's a few guys that like they have like they're coming up like K Bands and Mike Chavot, all these other artists, right? But there's no one that really like no. There's not like a well known like a Drake or something from Montreal. You know what I'm trying to say? That's what I'm trying to be to Montreal. And like some people might laugh at me, but like I personally believe that the only limitations that you set are the ones that like the ones you set. You can do anything if you put your mind to it.
Yeah. Um,
But
it's
also
interesting.
there's so many more factors involved. You know what I mean?
Nah, I hear you. A lot of people want to be the Drake of Montreal, so I definitely know that it's not a
But like I
laughable
don't want to be
thing.
like Drake. I want to be my own person. But
No,
like
the metaphor is apt. Every city gets their like mascot, like J. Cole for North Carolina right now. Like you could pick a
exactly,
city and like put a person next to it for a minute. It's that king of perspective, you know.
exactly. When
So
people think of Montreal, I want them to think when they think of rap and music in Montreal, I want them to think of young Andre.
I fucks with that energy. Definitely have a lot of competition in the city for hungry people
Oh,
going
for
for that
sure,
shit. But that's
for sure.
healthy.
Sure, but I ain't gotta back down. I wanted competition. I, I don't settle anything for my best. And if anyone the competition gonna get better, then let it be. Yeah, I want the competition. Let's get it hard.
Do you know a lot of people in the game?
I know Coffee K. He's a bigger artist in Montreal. He's from Longueuil with myself. I have a song with him on my mixtape. He has like 50,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. Pretty
Okay.
big. He has like a few songs with over a million streams. He's coming up. I feel like he has some potential. He's pretty good. Uh, I said you had named some bigger artists from Montreal. They're like somewhat on the come up. Mike Shab, K Bands.
Right.
I don't know them personally, but I know their music. You know what I mean? I've heard it. But I know Coffee K a little bit personally. He's a chill guy. Track with him, recording the stew. I might have another song coming with him soon.
Fair. So you're like mad new to the game type thing.
Yeah, yeah. I'm new. I have no interior connections. I'm actually looking for some artists that if they're willing to, work together, we could work together.
Yeah, there's how many
But I
artists do how many
obviously,
artists do you think are in Montreal? I'm curious.
well, I believe like it depends. Like, what do you mean? Like little artists or like big time artists or like average artists? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, we've established that let's say there's tiers to it, but like we don't necessarily have that elite tier. So pretty much most people are at varying degrees of independentry, with a few people bubbling a
I
little
think
higher.
there's like maybe like 8 to 10 in like the top, the toppest tier we have, not the top, but the tier that we
Yeah.
have. And then I'd say like maybe like 200 to 300 people. They have like I'd say maybe they're like mediocre tier, and then we have a lot of artists that are like a little good, but they don't make a lot of noise. And then we have some artists that I, you know,
So what would a number be to encompass that entire spectrum of shit? I do like the way you broke that down. That was an interesting breakdown.
like what do you mean? Like I'm sorry, I'm trying to understand.
Like just to put an actual quantifiable how many people make up each of these tiers. So the first one's clear. It's like
Oh,
10, then 200,
there's a
300.
lot. There's a lot of people who make music in Montreal. A lot of young people I know. It's like I think like there's a joke with a lot of like on things. I remember there's a joke in Montreal. They say like guys like my generation. It's either everyone you played hockey or you're like a rapper. And there's a lot of people that like I know that like have tried rapping, but a lot of people they just give up on it because they don't think like they expect it to happen overnight. And that's the thing. If you like, I believe this strongly. My dad always told me this. If you want something, like my dad instilled this to me as a child. He said, "No one's gonna hand you shit in this world. If you want it, you have to go fucking get it." It's like if you want something, go get it by the throat, or someone will fucking push you and go get it.
Respect. I appreciate that. It's facts. Um, no, I'm curious about it personally because like I feel like there's a perspective issue sometimes in Montreal where like there are thousands of people actively pursuing it in that like between
Yeah,
the
exactly.
actually good and not making noise tier and mediocre tier, yeah, it's a lot. I would say it's a lot higher actually between those the third bottom tier. I don't know, it's hard to measure.
There's
But
a
the
lot
num
of people that they try it out and like there's a lot of French. I'm not trying to be rude, like a lot of French people that they try to do English music, and it's like I'm not trying to be rude, but like you gotta stick to your own language, man. It's just it doesn't sound natural. It just sounds bizarre and weird because I hear your accent while I'm rapping. Like it's like not to be. Some people it works. Like the guy Coffee K I mentioned. He's French, but he has like the flow and the voice to make it sound like he's legit English. I could barely tell in his songs that he's a francophone. You know what I mean? I
you
can't
think
even.
that matters?
I think it does because a lot of people, if you can, it depends how you interpret it. Like I said, it's like if you cannot like hide the accent because some people have accents when they talk. If you can hide the accent and make it sound, because at the end of the day, Quebec, you're not gonna if you want to make English music, it's like you have to or not sorry if you're gonna be like well here we have French music and English music right, but if you're just a French artist, you're not gonna go anywhere outside of Montreal because most of the rest of the place is English music. But as an artist who's English, it's like you have
Oh, you
more.
got the Quebec circuit and the France circuit, but like
Exactly, but like they're not gonna like. There's only like a limitation. In English artists, it's more like it's harder to blow up because there's more competition around the world. But I feel like here there's a lot like angle like French rappers that they like sound very weird kind of when they rap because you hear the accent and it doesn't sound good. In my opinion. I'm not trying to like call anyone out by any means.
nah. Again, I think it's all interesting stuff. Like the idea is we need more people to be honest about how they feel, and the truth is, I don't think a lot of people in my age did the Facebook be up to date with what young people give a shit about. That's why I emphasize it a lot. For me, it's always a pleasure to talk to people that have such wildly different perspectives or experiences than I do. And like, yo, I'm in the game in my 30s. It's a whole different vibe than what y'all are going through.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. I'm just well, a lot of things, a lot of challenges. You know what I mean? But and one thing I fucking hate it's people that the amount of like I use autotune a bit, but some people they overdo the autotune. I cannot stand when people sound like you sound like a robot on your songs. I cannot stand that. I'm like,
Yo,
man, you gotta have some kind of skill. You can't just go on the mic and expect the mic to fix everything for you.
I'm gonna
Like, it,
actually. I want to clip this just so I can take like your face and show it to some old people and be like, "You ain't alone, my guys." There
no,
are
because like
people.
autotune, it does help a lot artists. Like Tory Lane's career at the beginning when he started off his career, he built it off autotune. I completely understand it. It has its benefits. It really does. But when you're using it to the point where it doesn't even sound like it doesn't sound natural, it doesn't sound like someone's singing, it sounds robotic. It's like stop. Like you have to like I said, this is where the flow comes into place. You can make music but not have a good flow. It's like if you don't have a good flow, it doesn't matter how good the autotune is, it's not gonna fix it.
Facts. I'm actually with you. I talk to a lot of people of varying degrees or whatever, and I think that consistently one of the main things that I've learned from producers, because the beat maker producer types are wildly interesting versus the artists. They agree with you entirely. it is all about the flow, and being in the pocket and being tight is like more important than like maybe saying really, people like wildly syllable stuff and do some other stuff where like when I started I was super guilty of a lot of this shit. Like you get into like writing, and
Yeah,
then like there's a difference between writing good bars and making good songs.
exactly, exactly. I know people that they're literally like they can write harder bars than me, and like they can like some serious like shit they could probably sell for some good ass like money like to people. But I'm like you just can't like you can't like you don't have the flow. It doesn't. And some people I realize that like, some people when they smoke it comes out like I really like myself I cannot rap if I'm not high. I'm not gonna lie with you.
Say a word.
It's like I feel like it's just like I'm the only one there when I'm high. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. My relationship with weed has evolved since then, but I very much empathize with that. I used to get real stoned, got locked in my fucking world back when it hit like that, and write and like fucking
Exactly.
get into it and just get lost in it. And performing's a little different. You
Oh
gotta like
yeah.
be a little cognizant of how high you get performing, because getting too high or too drunk, you fuck up a little too much. But with the
It's gonna
right
get
balance,
nice.
it's magical.
Exactly. Exactly.
Have you
Because if you
performed?
if you drink too much, you're gonna start sloshing your words. If you get too high, you're gonna forget your words.
Yeah. Well, or like get paranoid, because a lot of
Oh yeah,
lights and shit.
yeah. That one's true.
Like
That's true.
when I was younger and shit, I used to wonder why everyone wore sunglasses. Now I get why everyone wears fucking sunglasses, because like there's a lot of lights in your face in your life. Like just a lot of it. It's hard to be high with lights in your face. I appreciate you coming through, man. You're my first I'm trying to change my Saturday time slot person, because I was tired of doing it in the evening and not being able to do stuff.
Oh yeah,
But
because then it's like takes your day up kind of.
yeah, I mean it's cool. It was good for chores. So like it was like chores, but then it's like the world's opening again. Real life is happening again. So it's like, oh, say word, shit might be going down Saturday nights. So I appreciate you being the first one on this time slot.
No problem, bro. It helps me a lot. I get to do some homework after. No,
That's dope. Man, homework. Fuck me. Homework's a fun word. I guess not
I
that
fucking
fun.
hate homework. Fucking hate homework.
It's honestly, it might not be like the funnest, but it's good discipline habits on the real.
Oh yeah, well, I personally believe like life is priorities. It's like how like if you prioritize things, like me, a lot of people that don't understand like my like I feel like shit sometimes when I wake up, but I still do my things. Like this week, I had a like for like 3 days in a row. Me, I work out like 5 days a week. But like
Say a word.
regardless to what happens, I'm always going to put my priorities things. I always find the time to rap at the end of the night. I always find time to work out. I always have time to do my homework, and I always have time to go to try to get a few hours in at work. It's all about priorities. If you prioritize things, regardless of your schedule, if you prioritize and make the effort, you will go things. But it's all about priorities at the end of the day. If you don't prioritize something, you'll never go anywhere. That's why I always like I try to rap a bit at night, because if I don't prioritize, how am I gonna get better? Like I said, nothing. You don't like. It's all about work ethic.
Yeah, it's the facts of life, man. And I mean that. I mean, it's literally all about prioritization. Yo, the fact that you're even saying that shit's wild. Like, yo, they'd give like entire lunch and learns at my workplace to teach people about like project management and prioritization. Like, it's like
Oh
a
yeah,
huge focus to like get old people on board with that shit.
just a lot of people they don't prioritize either their body, their sleep schedule, or something other things. You know what I mean? It's like
Yo,
those are
is like health mad cool with your age group? Are y'all like a lot of y'all on this shit, or is it like you're just like really focused and dedicated?
well. Personally, I used to be really like a twig when I was like maybe when I was like 16, 17. So like a lot of people used to like push me around a bit. So I was kind of tired of that shit, and then I started beefing up, so that wouldn't happen. And I just enjoyed working out after a while. It's like so I just enjoyed doing it every day. My body was getting nicer, so I was like, "What's he gonna do an hour and a half of my day or 2 hours? What's he gonna do? I'm gonna be going home playing at video games or something, or doing a bong rip or something. You know what I mean? Or like something that's not gonna it's gonna waste my time. I could just go do it for an hour and a half, get it over with, and then bam, enjoy the rest of my day, or do something else. You know what I mean?
Say word. That's like a huge level of commitment, and I respect that shit. Yeah, that's what young people be doing. Everyone out there watching this, because you're gonna get to your 30s and you're gonna be like an hour and a half a day, motherfucker. It's a
A
completely
lot.
different vibe. But I actually I'm learning how to fit fucking health shit into my life. I'm just not in shape enough to go an hour and a half yet. I'm building the
Good.
stamina up. Takes a
Still, my
minute.
lungs. My lungs, man. I'm starting hockey soon. Oh, my lungs are gonna be awful.
Yeah, I'm learning how to be more healthy because it's like, yo, I'm not important. That means that when you do hit a stage, though, like, do you dance? Is dancing important to you?
Well, like I do it like for fun, but like I don't like dance because like I don't know. I've just never been comfortable doing it. But like I do it when like no one's around. I'm not the type of person to dance in front of other people. But I'm like more. I keep to myself like around people. Depends like unless my close friends. It also depends on my mood. Like some people. Oh my bad. I left the thing. I think.
No worries, man.
People, it's like I'm more like talkative around and I'll be like open as like crazy. But like some people, I'll just like I'll be like low key about them. 'Cause, like I don't know. It's a little bit of trust issues. I'm like at first I'm like I don't know your intentions, are they good or bad? And like if I know your intentions are good, it's like I'm just gonna open up and like do some like joking stuff like that, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I respect that a lot, though. That's a huge time knowledge nugget. Actually, it's a good way to be, especially in a world where you can't always tell people's intentions.
Oh,
Be a little conservative with it.
I've realized a lot of this. A lot of people they'll fuck you over and they get a chance to. So like I'll watch behind your back. They'll fuck you over for any instance, man. I've ever realized that people I thought would never fuck me over fucked me over, and I'm like whatever. Gotta be
Yeah,
careful.
I realized why every rapper has songs about haters and not liking people. I'm like, because it's part of an experience. But it's not just rappers. It's like just kind of life, and it
Oh
is
no,
what
I've
it
had some
is.
people that hate on me, but like it's like if you like I don't really care. You can hate on my music all you want. It's just like unfollow me, unadd me. I don't really care. You know what I'm trying to say? Like your negative comment isn't gonna do anything to me. It's not gonna like change my day or my life. Like, oh wow, someone isn't.
Nah, I mean, I don't mean the hate. I mean, like, sometimes you have real life shit where you're like, oh, say word, that's complicated than I thought it would be.
Oh, okay. I understand what you're saying. Okay.
I feel like everybody ends up with stories like that these days. Like, pretty much every human I know. It's wild. Like, it's just stuff I think about a little bit more as time goes on and I meet more people. Um, but yo, have you performed? Have you done shows?
I have not. I'm actually looking to do one, but there's no one's contacted me. I've reached out to multiple places. They just I don't know. I guess they don't see the potential in me right away. I'm gonna have
Do
to
you have a
prove that.
press kit?
A press kit, what would that be? I don't really know.
That's the shit where alright, so a press kit is it's your resume as an artist, and without a press kit a lot of people don't take you seriously. I actually have to get my own press kit shit in order because I neglected to do it, and then I realized, well, I can't be sitting there fucking mad at people if I don't have a press kit. But you can Google what goes in a press kit after, but effectively it's like your bio, some links, a couple of pictures, some shit like that, and it's like a package. So when you
Oh,
go
okay. I think
apply to,
I have some stuff in my Insta, maybe my.
nah, it's more like a specific thing. You gotta Google how to make a press kit after. Trust,
Okay.
and that's how you like can kind of pitch yourself a little stronger and towards a lot of these places. Because the thing is there are in fact that many things, and unfortunately that many people in the game. I have on a list right now 200 and change rappers, and I haven't even touched the young people, and those are all active players, and those are all anglophones because I'm not really that focused on the French side. So like I would argue there's about 2,000 active players in the game right now minimum
Oh
speaking
yeah, for
English,
sure.
and all those people are probably looking at the same four festivals right
But
now.
honestly, one thing I say I have an advantage over most people who are Anglophone is that most of them came up off. Like my name is Leo Legault, but my mom's side is basically my mom's grandma, my grandmother is English. So I grew up with my grandma a lot and spoke a lot of English. Like English is my first language. So like people, it's like they have like that French is their first language, and it's
Nah,
like
I'm saying Mag. A lot of us be Anglos here. Like I grew up English
yeah, yeah,
here.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
a lot of us be
It's like I guess
Anglos
more like
here.
when you go to the west, when you go more to the west side of the island, it's like
Like the Southwest is pretty English. It's
yeah.
like easily 350,000 Anglophones kind of concentrated. The West Island too. Maybe not Anglophones, but people who are like that's like an area that's heavy English. The West Island's heavy English.
Yeah, what
There's
sounds
even
like
a
English.
lot in like Plateau area shit. Like there's pockets of Anglo all around, and they have produced quite a large number of artists. Like there's actually something that I find part of why I'm doing this show now is because I came into the game. I may have sounded like you once upon a time, felt exactly like you once upon a time, and then you kind of realized how many people do, like just how many people there are that have done like pretty incredible shit. Like believe it or not, there's dudes from NDG by the names of Shades of Culture, and they open for Backstreet Boys. You
That's
know, English
that's crazy.
rappers, their albums on Spotify right now. This shit holds up to this day.
Well, people,
Honestly,
the Backstreet Boys, they're definitely pulling some kind of views.
nah, because the world of views is not real life. So there's this weird like juxtaposition right now of trying to blend the real life world and the internet world into a meaningful thing. So like views is a weird one. I know how my day job has me looking a little bit into organic versus paid and actual numbers. So you gotta keep in mind there are people that can look at all of this shit and basically see the story of how you got your views. So like you have 50,000 views and the comment ratio not right, and not even the comment ratio, the comment quality. So I'm gonna read 100 of your comments on your video, and I'm gonna know if you paid for those views or not. I'm gonna know if those are fans or not. Like you can do a lot of analyses on people's view counts when you're trying to make decisions of real fan base. But what happens is views does not translate into ticket sales, and
Oh no,
that's a
you
huge.
just because you have one view of a stream, like let's say someone streams something 1,000 times.
You could have 100,000 screen streams, and they could be from who knows where. When it comes to like actually selling tickets in real life, it's a different game entirely.
Yeah, for sure. Well, because like, well, a lot of people they're not like a lot of people won't buy tickets because like, oh, why would I want to buy tickets when I have Spotify or something? You know what I mean? Like I don't like, especially to go see like or like a not as big artist. Like why would I pay like $15 to go see some guy who has like 5,000 followers? You know what I mean?
This is the big conundrum of life. How? That's where we build fan bases, and it gets. So sometimes what happens is some people be mad interesting in real life. All of it, they can sell tickets, but like their online presence is trash. Cause like a lot of people grew up in an area where you just kept it quiet, right? Like social media was like a weird adaptation. I was like an early adopter, I suppose, of this like fucking fuck it. I love social media life since like 2010 or some shit. I've been addicted to it, so it is what it is. But not everyone was on board at first, so it's just a lot of people don't have good like social followings, but have sold thousands of mixtapes. But you don't track that; it's just invisible. So the invisible accolades is the wild part, because like I know a lot of people that could get streams but couldn't sell 20 mixtapes, and then it's like, okay, so which is actually cooler? That's where my brain is at now. It's like, okay, which of these is the more interesting venture?
Like it really depends because like let's say you can like you have like 50,000 like maybe 100. Let's say you make like a million streams, right? You get like five like 50,000 monthly listeners, and you can sell like let's say 20,000 records or something, right? At the end of the day, the 20,000 records are gonna give you more profit. The hundred
Yeah,
thousand give you more it might open more views. Like let's say you're looking like depends what your goal is. Like if you're trying to be an independent artist, a label. Personally, I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. It all depends. Like it all depends on how things go. Like it's obviously if I got like a crazy deal from like like in 5 years or something, I got a crazy deal from like a record label. It's like like $3 million or something. Obviously, like I'm gonna like have to consult it, see how I'm doing on myself, like in projections in the future. Like I say, is this $3 million gonna fuck me over later? Is it like maybe my value will be going $8 million? You know what I mean? Or if you just stay independent, you can make 8 million instead of three. It's like it all the like big times things, you know. Sorry if you understand what I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, I totally follow that. I think it's wildly interesting thinking like that. Um, but value
A
of
lot of people,
views.
a lot of people like I like to follow big time rappers too a bit. Look at Tory Lanez, man. He signed a record label in like 15 or 14 or something, right? He literally said how they fucked him over and like in his like his right before he dropped an album like to get off his record label. He literally said they fucked him over because in like those 4 to 5 years, Tory Lanez skyrocketed. He skyrocketed. He went from like unknown to everyone knowing him, like people playing his songs in the clubs, not in Canada, like everywhere. And it's like yes, you made like it's like he made like $20 million, but you could if you were independent, you probably could have made like 100 million. And it's like a big deal.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. I just don't know that Tory Lanez would have got that push without the label.
I,
But
I agree with you. I agree with you, but like
like, I'm personally not sold on Tory Lanez's logic. I'm not saying he's right or wrong. I'm
I think he
saying
did a
I'm
smart
not
choice getting
sold.
out of the record label though, because like
Now
now he has like
that I agree with. I
yes,
also think he made a lot of money on vilifying the label for the sake of whatever he did. Because sometimes people spin shit. Like it's spin, in my opinion, what he did. Now is he right or wrong? I don't know.
well,
But yo,
yeah,
there's no fucking sicko world and all that. Or no, it's not him. There's no fucking like half the shit happening for him. That's like going on without some push to the degree of it all. Because yo, if you're indie, now you're responsible for all your social media. You're responsible for all of your booking. And yeah, you can find a team, right? And you can, and that's the hard part though. Because but then you're
it's
not.
like you have to convince people that you're actually legit, and then they have to see your goal and your vision as well.
So I'm not as convinced that like yeah, the beef with Drake. This is from Ismail in the comments. The beef with Drake definitely helped him a lot, but like even all of this shit, I'm sure that to a degree, with a push that was given to him via this label machine, that he probably would not have been able to do independently. Which yeah, the Catalyst skyrocket thing and what profit over 5 years, whatever. But now Tory Lanez is being like legitimately considered legitimate by the whole world, and he can do what he wants. So that's the thing about labels, and this is really like I guess on my mind today in general because it's just how life plays out. But like, yo, when you're actually trying to run your indie shit, and you start realizing you need a booking agent to spend like fucking 20 hours a week on Google looking for show opportunities, and then you need like a manager to tell you when to show up at shit. And then but then you gotta come up with the list of fucking blog sites and fucking places to send. Like, yo, the list of shit to do is huge, and then the label just has it ready to go. Like
Well,
that
yeah,
shit.
because
I
they
don't
have
know,
like
man. That's some money right there. That's worth maybe giving up some shit in the short term for later on long term games. Is more
I
what
feel
I'm
you on that.
thinking.
Like personally, I if I had like a label offer me, I wouldn't sign anything long term. Like I maybe a couple of years so they could push me like my brand up. Because once you, it's like you said before, Tory Lane. It's like once you have that brand, like I swear most of the time, once you have that specific brand of people who are like your followers and your fan base, it's like you're set basically. Because regardless if your music's bad, if you drop one bad album and you drop like three good ones, they're still gonna listen and they're still gonna put views and money on the table because they're still, even if you drop a shit album, some people are gonna think it's good because they're your followers, your fan base.
Well, I also look at it from like relationship points. The label like puts you in rooms with people that
Oh yeah, they
you're
can they
not
put you
getting in those rooms, right? Like it's like that like would you take $500,000 or a fucking lunch with Jay-Z? I mean, the label kind of puts you
oh
in a lot of lunch with Jay-Z moments that you're not getting without it. Like think about like some of the top interview peoples or like a Breakfast Club. Like how you get in Breakfast Club all by yourself. That's some really hard shit.
you probably have to be, you'd have to like blow up on the internet and then make more hits and then probably get invited there.
Hard shit. I'm saying but that's
Unlike,
the trade-off, right? You got to find a way to be that relevant that you're competing against the machine because you're actually competing against the machine in that regard. No, I don't know. This shit's just fascinating to me because of the idea of what Tory Lane said with regards to the labels, and I find it perspective. I like the fact that you're more realistic with your shit stills. Um, with regards to performing though, let's say, do you like practice that shit? Like, do you have like a
oh,
set
like
ready to
I
go?
have this one thing. A lot of people don't know this, but I do a lot of my takes, like my songs, on one takes. Like I do the whole thing from start to end. My producer Miguel, you might can vouch for me on that. I'm the type of person that I practice my songs to the point where I have the words memorized before I go into the place and I know everything. So I can do songs in one take. Like I could literally go out and perform right away. Like if I memorize my song beforehand, I can go and perform and know every lyric and just go off, like stay on the beat. Like obviously I probably won't hit every note that I hit in the studio because like, some things I did like I'll do one like long ass take and then I'll be like, okay, this part needs a bit of work, or like, you know what I mean, I'll go again and I'll do that little part, but I do a lot of my takes one take.
Are you a writer or do you like freestyle too?
uh like I'm not that big. I like to write my music. Me, like, it comes from personal experiences and relations. Like I said, I cannot freestyle, and I give it to people who can freestyle. You can legit freestyle like hard. You have a skill. I'll give that to people. You have a skill because I don't know many people that can freestyle, and like I've been doing this for a long ass time. Or
I
not long,
get that.
You know what I mean?
Relatively
Decent.
long as time relative to your
My life.
life and shit. And I'll give it to you. Being involved for like 3 years of pushing it from 17 to 20 is like you're going to be my age and be able to fucking flat out say long ass time, and it's longer than my long ass time.
Exactly.
But yeah, I know a lot of freestylers. If you want to actually meet these people, yo, I know a lot of
I
freestylers.
I'd
Like
actually be down if you have any artists that would be interested in working with me. Send me their way or producers, anything.
honestly, it's more like you just got to put yourself in environments where you meet the people. That's the facts of the situation. There's a lot of people that are like super talented in the city. That's the only thing I can say. You might be underestimating the talent pool of Montreal. It's actually wickedly, powerfully talented.
Oh
Like
no, no, I know
so much shit. So
we have some
like,
talent. I have some like artists I told you that are good, but they're not. Like I saw this guy on the internet. I was like, how the fuck is this guy not have like 30K
who?
followers? It's like some I don't remember what his name is, but he was like he had like such a like a like it's like one of those voices that like it's so smooth, and then he just picked up his like a rapping type of flow, and I was like, this guy should have like I don't remember exactly who he is because like it's not off the top of my head right now, but yeah.
No, that's fair. But like as an example, on Tuesdays, I have a Zoom where like this, where a bunch of us been freestyling all year on Tuesdays. Like
Mhm.
for myself, I started a park jam shit recently on Sundays in the park with the amp and microphones for motherfuckers to like roll through and like perform and shit. Via doing
I think I
that,
saw it.
you
Saw your
get to
story.
like actually meet the peoples. Cause it's hard for me to know who the fuck's gonna like anybody. There's a lot of people, right? And I can just say people exist. I can say what else, but then it's like I realized that a lot of people, like actually Fat Joe, this dude,
Yeah.
legend in the city, Don Lennon, otherwise known as Urban Logics, told me the story about Fat Joe one time. Fat Joe would go to everybody's show, even if he hated your music, for the sake of the culture, and roll up with like a squad to everybody's show. And Fat Joe never performed to an empty crowd, and the whole city loves Fat Joe. Like Fat Joe to this day has a career, and that
Oh yeah.
inspired me because I
His
didn't go
music's
to
not,
like
he hasn't
shows
like
and
really
shit.
like he really hasn't like had like a big like album or something that's like for a long time, but everyone still fucks his music.
He kind of had that Grammy nom recent, but
Or I don't know if he did. I don't really follow him as much anymore. I like his old stuff from, like when he was younger.
But basically he still is active though. That's the thing. Like to this
Oh yeah,
day,
well
he's
look, he's been
active.
around for so long. He's been around for so long, and he's still going on. Like a lot of rappers that they just end like they stopped. Like they hit their peak and then they just give up or not give up, but like ended it or kind of just said it was enough.
Yeah. So I guess part of why I believe Fat Joe is so successful with his longevity was that community element of it.
Well, he might have like a lot. I believe a lot of rappers they don't rap for the passion. Like I do this because I genuinely enjoy it. Some people they do it for more of how do you say this of, to get like a view of following or like aspects to like they want something from it.
I
Like if
could probably find you hundreds of people here that are just in it for the passion. And maybe there's a problem here, maybe where if I were to diagnose it, too many people care about the passionate art side, and there's a lack of people caring about the good business beyond the viral chasers. Like, there's not enough, like, artists trying to do business good, would be like my analysis of shit. Most people want to be indie, but don't want to do the indie work, is another way to look at it. But like, nah, there's a lot of like real artists doing crazy passionate music in the city. I've like personally got interview after interview with them. So like, I can't like agree with that testament. There's a lot more to it. Like, there's a community vibe that I think is necessary. That's why I was bringing it back to that. Like, if you just come to shit where people be at, you're gonna meet the people, and then you just gotta be like, yo, check what I do. A motherfucker's gonna be like, oh, say word. And that's like way more impactful than like me being like, yo, check this dude out. And that's the thing where I think a lot of us like fail. Like, I wear a suit when I do my shit. Trust, 2 a.m. behind the bar, freestyling in a suit, even if it's trash, people remember it.
that's true.
I
Your
just,
parents
but people remember you being at shit. That's what I came to realize, is people remember the stuff you were at more than like a lot of the internet shit. I don't think the internet shit's as sticky as like drunk conversations, and I don't even drink like that no more, but I had a lot of like moments where people are like, I remember you from this fucking live thing 8 years ago, and I'm like, really?
it's like a
Well,
long
that's
time ago.
flattering. But
Yeah.
like, they can't remember a fucking Facebook post from last year, and that's like,
they saw it. They saw it live. They remembered it. I understand.
So yeah, it's like that shit. And that's why I was curious about live, because you're like, again, almost like a, if you want to go marketing with like a test case audience, there's a lot of y'all that just started rapping this year.
Oh
And
yeah,
like
there's a
the
lot. I
COVID
feel there's a lot of
shit.
people that came up this year. A lot of people.
And now it's like the migration into real life is like a first. Because there were some people that, like, anyone prior to COVID had to play that old game. And then this COVID shit happened. And it's like, yo, honestly, there is a large number of internet people that have never done live. Never really tried to engage beyond an internet audience. And then I realized, yeah, a bunch of them can have complete careers like that, I'm sure. But like, how many of y'all are gonna like stick around, I suppose, once the real life kicks in and then you start meeting people, and then
Like
you
the real
realize,
shows and stuff. Like, like people understand it's like you have to perform legit in front of people. I understand what you're saying.
but
It's
then
like
there's also like meeting people, like actually going to the show and then realizing every one of these motherfuckers is another version of you.
yeah, for sure. They
And
want it as bad as you. They want it. They'll do anything to get it.
anything to get it's a debatable point. Some people like,
It all depends. I know it's not mean, but a lot of people will do a lot of things to get what they want. You know what I'm trying to say?
yeah,
They
and
want, but what
it's like, I mean, you seem like you do want to work with people though. Like you seem like you're super into that.
No, I'm 100%. I want to grow my brand. I'm not trying to like. I've set realistic goals for myself. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna become like I said, the top of the city right overnight. It's not gonna happen. I'm just trying to build my brand slowly, climb the ladder slowly. I have the song taking on my one of my bars in my song. It's taking it step by step, climbing the ladder, and it's like something like that. I don't remember the exact verse, but it was like taking it step by step, climbing the ladder.
No, I really enjoy your mind. I think you have a really interesting perspective. It's my job to like figure out ways to make you say things. But really, no, I'm impressed by you as a person. Like, I wasn't sure what to expect from young Andre with 2 tracks on SoundCloud and some Instagram shit. Honestly,
No,
from
just like I'm really hyped for my mixtape to drop. It's gonna be like my first like actual like legit project. Like I spent a lot of time on, and I think a lot of people are gonna enjoy it. But like it has like different like it's like a genre. It's like there's different like genre or not genres, but like for different people. I have some songs that are like straight starting song bar for bar. Like it's like a song like the rap, and I have some songs where like I sing more or like I use more of my vocals or I relate to more like a lover boy type of vibe. You know what I mean? Or so exactly. I don't try to change up my flow, and it's like a little. I think it's like I played this whole mixtape is like me playing with my sound a bit, me experimenting to find like who am I really as an artist and what like best like I do best. And it's like I think it's gonna put me like somewhere. It's gonna like take me off a bit or get me known a bit. This mixtape.
yeah, I mean, I think more your Insta shits and your actual marketing mind is gonna help a lot. I'm of the mind where it's like the package and the tenacity to do it. Like, say you Google that press kit, boom, you'll get more show opportunities if you
Oh, I'm gonna
create.
do that for sure. I might do that. I'm doing that, especially since you told
Because
me.
I was like, yeah,
Get
this
some
kid's
live
gonna act.
shows.
Well, I mean, it's like everything in life is kind of like that. Like when it comes to marketing, though, because that's the one thing where I think you guys get real different than like my group is. For you, the internet is probably more second nature
Oh
than it
yeah.
is for me. I mean, not the internet, let's say, but modern interneting. Like, did you grow up with Tumblr?
No.
No, you were in a Tumblr one. What did you grow up with social medias when you were like super young, or internet websites and shit?
Like. Uh,
Did you have Vine?
yeah, Vine, Facebook.
Fair enough. Basically, I guess it's like I'm trying to like understand the cultural shifts of like how does one actually market via like Instagram or
Oh,
TikTok or create these
well,
campaigns and like run it like for
I
real.
know I know a lot of people, and a lot of people I'm chill with. I try to make personally myself. I personally have never tried to fuck anyone over, and I try to do my best to like I wouldn't say make the person like me, but no, make the person think I'm like real. You know what I'm trying to say? Real. I'm always real with people, regardless. I will tell something to you. I literally will tell if you look stupid. I will say to your face, you look fucking stupid. I'll be like, I won't like lie to you just because I'm your friend. I preach on being real, and I get like a lot of people to like a lot of people fuck with me for that, and like I get my post my shit on Instagram. Some people fuck with it, they share it. I have a lot of boy friends who like my music and shit. They share it. They're like, "Yo, my guy's up next. My boy's up next," and I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah." I promote it. I promote on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. I use Reddit a bit, but it's about it really.
Do you use stories a lot?
Stories like, oh yeah, stories. Instagram stories, Snapchat stories.
Fair. What about like other kinds of shit like vlogs and other kinds of content? Does that interest you?
It does, but I have not posted on a vlog yet. It does interest me though. I would be interested in doing a vlog, a blog, like all those things too. I
What
get like
about
a. Sorry, continue.
what about something like Twitch, right? Because
Yeah,
Twitch is a
obviously, I enjoy doing this. It's like it's gonna help me for sure get like, my name up a bit at least. You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure. At least a few more people have heard of you as of today, and as time goes on, this is an archive. It'll be on YouTube, so it's just existing in life. But more like you as a streamer. So why I say that, I started fucking with live music making, like not like just performing, but like, well, for one thing, digital performance is an option. Um,
I'm not like really a vibe to that. I'm not really vibing. I would do digital performances. Like I don't feel like it's a vibe. Like I don't feel like it's the same thing as like with real people and stuff. Because like there's like something you feed off of a crowd's energy. Even myself, like I've never performed, but like I've been like concerts and stuff, and it's like I've seen like an artist like Killy. Like Killy is like one of the most heart. I don't know if you know Killy. He's like like a younger like a Gen Z type of rapper. He blew up like a few years ago. Like he has like I don't know like he has a few songs with like 25 million, 30 million. You know what I mean? He blew up, and like this guy had like when I came to Montreal and I saw him perform, this guy like fed off energy. Everyone was like fucking screaming and shit. Like people were hyped. There was like mosh pits and everything. Like he could feed. He jumped into the crowd. You could tell he was feeding off the energy, and that's why I feel like it's better to have like a real performance because you can feed off the crowd and how they're reacting and stuff by your music than like online. You can't really like feel the crowd. You just like you know what I mean? It's like they just see you performing. And even if you do like you have like that option where like you can see your crowd, it's not the same vibe. You know what I mean? It's not like you're in person and you feel everything that's going on.
yeah, it's definitely not the same vibe.
I'm
I
not
agree with
against it.
that.
Like if I had to, I would. Like I wouldn't mind. You know
I
anything.
think everyone has to. I don't think we get a choice in this one. I don't think this
Exactly.
industry is
Especially with the
not like.
pandemic, it's like so much harder to perform now. The cops shutting down everything.
Nah, it's not even that bad. I'm in the park broad day, and
Dude,
it's
no,
fine.
yeah, I know what you mean. But like I saw a show like there was like my boy Coffee K. It was at like Gloom Riot or something. I think it was called the Gloom Riot. It was like a bunch of artists from Montreal that are like not like big, but like they were like somewhat noticed. And so he was performing and like the cops got it shut down. Like it's hard now to like if you want like a big crowd or a decently big crowd, it's hard to get them now.
Yeah, that's true. I'm focusing on small scale to avoid the 5 O's because that doesn't sound very fun, and private
No, it sounds like a
parties is
ticket.
complicated.
Sounds like
Yeah.
tickets.
But like that's a temporary measure that will end, and upon which it will like pick
Yeah.
up again. But even without that, it's more of an economics thing. Like,
Oh yeah, the economy's going to shit right now.
I'm like, yeah, I'm watching people realize, like, okay, so I'm watching freestylers, and there's this group of people that will just do shit like freestyle towards in the chat, and then people donate money to them, and I'm like, they are making more off of this than other things, and it's gonna become this economic shift where the audience is gonna start to expect it more and more. And then all of a sudden there's these like live components to the reality that I think, and it might take 5 years. I don't know. I don't think it's an overnight. I think it's like the beginning of the end of
Work ethic
certain,
thing. It's like
you
you
know.
work at it, you get bigger. You know what I mean?
And then virtual reality kicks in at a certain point because while it's not litty yet, it's getting littier, and it's soon going to be super litty. And then upon which, like, if you're getting like photorealistic bullshit in your room, you're going to be like, I don't know how much I really, oh, it's only $20. Oh, that's not 100. All of a sudden you're going to see that kind of shit start to happen. I think live, anyway, I have to say, like, it's going to get weird. And I think like live connections, like this Twitch shit, being live on Facebook and shit, it helped a lot more than it hurt. I was doing the interviews with people in my room. Honestly, I realized if you can see a chat moving, it's not like as good, but it's not complete shit. It's like a middle. It's like Like your soup's just a little too cold.
Feel you on that.
So I don't know. I'm fascinated. Somebody asked though if you would stream on Twitch, and I'm like, honestly, watching somebody like you write a song on Twitch though, that would be fucking so cool. To
Write a
me,
song. I maybe write a song. I could do that. I wouldn't for freestyle because like I can't freestyle. Like I've said, I'm not like I'll give you like maybe that 1 or 2 bars, you know what I mean, 3 bars, but like it's hard to continue. I give it mad props to people like I said before who can freestyle because like it clicks in your head. Like me, it clicks like over time. Like I'll write a bar maybe like 3 4 bars and like I'll make sure like those bars I'll edit the like not the what do you call it like like let's say you rhyme a word with like tar and bar, right? But it's like you have the words before that and like I'll change that. Like I don't explain what I'm trying to say, but I'm trying to explain it, but like it's kind of hard. It's okay though. And, like,
no, I'm listening. I that's
I
kind of
spend a lot.
why I
Spend like a
want.
lot of time writing. Sorry, my bad.
It's kind of like why it would be interesting to watch you do it, because so many people do it so different. So even if it's like editing, rearrange, whatever you come at it, like that's how you do it.
Oh, I'd have to do it high though, 100%, like 100%.
It's illegal in this country. You're allowed to do it high on the internet and
Yeah, I
monetize it.
know.
It's
It's
now the
just
same as drinking.
it's fucking nice, nice. I remember like when I was like 17, 16, I used to like always hide this shit, bro. And I was like, oh, I don't want to get like in shit. I was like, then it's like now it's like not even a big deal. It's like anyone can do it. And I remember I used to like going behind school, like hide, like acting like it was like crack or something. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like I remember like things that's like it's not even that long ago. It's just a joint. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Um. That's
Like
exactly what it
it's
is.
different. It's different for some people. Like I've seen some people like some people are like really weird when they smoke and shit. They're weird, and, like I'm very different. But like for me, it's chill. I just like relax. I feel like relax and shit, calm down. That's about it.
I smoke a copious amount of fucking weed, to be real with you. So I'm not even like one to sit there and be like whatever's, but it isn't for everyone. Some people probably can't handle it, right? I know I've seen some people that just suck at being high, and then everyone's at a different place in their weed
Some
journey.
people are just like it's weird. They're like paranoid and it makes you feel weird and shit.
Yeah, it's not for everyone. Just the same way drinking's not for everyone. Yo, y'all into like mushrooms and shit? Is that like popping with your peoples?
Uh,
I'm not saying like you to incriminate yourself, but like, is that generally popping with your peoples?
like I guess it really depends on who you ask. Personally, myself, like I wouldn't say so. Like, because like between some shit for that, I'm not gonna say I would never do it because like I'm a person. Like there's some things I would never touch. I'm not gonna say I would never do it, but there's a few things like maybe like I don't think I would do it. Like maybe like as I got older, if I wanted to experiment something, you know what I
I
mean? But
respect that.
it's
Facebook
like
shit.
personally, like I'm not really into that like psychedelic type of shit. Like seeing it's like I feel like it would fuck with my brain and shit. Like I do know people have done it. It's like they've had positive experiences from it. So like I think there is some benefits to it scientifically. Like people have to realize there is scientific benefits to it. Like I heard it helps with depression, for some certain aspects for some people.
Yeah.
I think
Is it?
like I think it like our generation depends. It really depends on who you ask. Like me personally, I don't think I would do it, but like it depends on the person you ask. But it's also
Nah.
illegal, so it's like kind of like
Yo,
still
it's
it's
illegal,
5 years. It's like
but I got an ad on YouTube offering me 20% off mushrooms the other day. To which I
yeah,
was,
I know you mean. I know you mean. I see this fucking stuff too.
and so I'm going, well, it's clearly very close to not being illegal. So is it young people that want this? Who the fuck's asking for mushrooms? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I don't know either, but
I know a fair number of
the
people who
worst thing.
microdose actually. I found out a lot of people actually fuck with mushrooms in my age group. Like they do, like the microdosing got cool. I never microdosed one time in my life, but I definitely did well, I was 23 and I fucking got ripped, and it was like I remember walking to a grocery store and shit was swirly. But yo, it really does make you philosophize, and
Oh,
like,
I'm sure. It changes your aspect of life. I'm sure of it.
or
Perception.
not, but it was big. But I was curious just because of that. I was like, I don't know. Do you find like people like weed more or drink more in your world?
Depends on the group. I know some people that specifically like to drink, and I know some people that specifically prefer to smoke. But I also know people who do both. Like I do both. I like to drink. I like to smoke. It's like it has its own vibe. You know what I mean? There's like a time and a place for both.
Do
You
you
can't go. I don't think you can go to a club and like get super super faded. You know what I mean? Because then you're just gonna be like loafing, relaxed and stuff. But like you also don't want to like what's an example for drinking? You don't want to go to like somewhere where you're just chilling and get super fucked up. Like somewhere like say you're just playing video games, right? You're not gonna get super fucked up and like it's a party, right? You know what I mean? You might smoke or something, right? It's like it depends on the vibe, I would say, like the aspect of what you're doing.
do y'all like bars?
I like bars. I like bars, clubs, and shit. I used to go before the pandemic and shit. Like, like it's kind of fucked now because like still waiting on my second vax. I'm not even like completely for that. Just like I needed to like go play hockey, so I'm like fuck it.
Yeah, that's a big one. With regards to it, I don't know. I feel like the implementation was trash, regardless of whether or
I
not
think
it's
it's kind of like fucking
necessary.
weird. I find it's fucking weird. I'll give it to people that I took it and I still find it fucking weird how like this shit like the lottery and all this fucking shit like we've never done this
Oh, I
before.
forgot about the lottery.
Yeah, it's fucking weird sometimes. I have it. I have the first one, but like I'm still sketched out about this stuff.
That's fair. Um, I'm less sketched out. I just am more sketched out about the implementation of a passport after saying there wouldn't
Oh,
be one.
I fucking find it stupid. I find it stupid passport. I would have never got my vaccine if it wasn't for the passport.
That's probably why they put the passport in.
No, it's because like I don't.
I mean, I'm
I
not
just,
saying
I
that in
just
a positive way. I'm saying it
like I
because it's like
really
this grim reality.
like I don't know what your aspect on it. It doesn't like change my opinion on you. You're still chill. You know what I
I'm
mean?
like, don't give a shit about the vaccination because I would have just done it either way. For myself, I'm not really afraid of it. The stats don't scare me. I suppose they're like the nominal numbers look big, but the percentages are like less than one whenever I look at shit. So that's not scary to me. But the passport thing is kind of wild because now I've experienced it. Like for me, it was the Districts Festival. Like, I mean, I want to travel to New York, so it wasn't really a question in my mind. I just had to get vaccinated. So, like, when they announced the passport, I was already double vaxxed. I'm like, well, this doesn't really impact me so much until it started to. Until I started realizing shit. Like, so you go to this festival, and now I gotta pull up my phone and prove my shit, and they scan it, boop, boop. Somebody tracked that I'm there somewhere. I mean, they already had it with the Google Maps, but now it's, like, legitimately tracked there. And then you go in, and because it's like not like in a closed in event, there's just this arbitrary fence, and then it's almost like this haves and have not situation that played out where it's like, oh, say word, those people couldn't
It's
come in.
it's
And
kind of like
then
discriminatory at finding a way because like you're trying to like separate two groups of people and like these people don't. They're clearly arguing. It's clearly causing an issue because look, there's like literally I think the anti-vax parade or whatever protest or whatever it was, not parade protest. There was literally people like vaxxers there saying like fucking arguing with the anti-vaxxers or whatever it is. Like it's causing a problem. The government doesn't seem to care really.
but the other side of the coin is the democracy element. And democracy is an interesting concept, right? Because in theory, democracy would mean there's like a sense of a vote that goes on, which people do with their actions regardless of if there's an official vote. And then if the majority says this is what we want, then the losing group loses. And that's how democracy is supposed to work. And then you can campaign and politic and do your thing. But the losing group is that's the other side of my feelings on it because I don't have like very clear feelings. I have like this conflict inside of me where I do believe in democracy. It is the simplest solution I can think of shit. And if 89% of people, or something like 70 to 80% of fucking Quebecers are like, let's get vaccinated.
Yeah, it's like
So
it's a
then
bit.
it's like ultimately the other side of the coin lost the fight and then didn't want to concede. And that's a part where I'm like, well, then what's democracy? What does democracy mean?
But
If
it's like
like
I
the
agree.
majority's opinion
I
doesn't
agree
like
with
have a
it.
point, like, but then it's a freedom of individual expression. So it's
Exactly.
like I don't know how to pick. I don't know which of these things matters more to me. And that's been a
Exactly.
conflict in my soul. But I also think that if I have to pick, I pick democracy over myself because I'm like kind of like that. I think the greater good makes more sense than my individual rights and needs. That's my like if I have to pick situation, but it's not ideal. It's not like fun.
It's exactly, I kind of agree with you. Like, look, it's like you can't, by law, you can't force anything upon anyone by law, but
Yeah.
it's like you're also pissing off people because you're restricting what they can do. But at the end of the day, a majority of people agree with this, so it's causing an issue on both groups.
So it's like it creates an issue, true, but then there's also the side of like I'm not convinced this divide is as prevalent as people think it is off Facebook. Like in real life, I'm not seeing the divide as is prevalent. Like yo, it looks good on when people say shit like 10,000 people in Montreal. I don't think they realize how nobody that is. Like 10,000 people isn't people when you consider the greater Montreal area.
We're like nine. Are
Is
we like
4 million.
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing.
So like when I saw somebody post 3,000, I don't want to like be a shithead because I empathize with all the healthcare people, but like yo, 3,000 medical professionals saying a thing isn't a number. I actually looked it up. There are 300 million doctors around the planet or some shit like that involved in the medical fucking world, or something crazy. 30 million or some number like that. It was a 3 and a lot of zeros and it was in the millions. So it's either
Probably 30 million because like makes sense.
yeah, it makes more sense. So when you see shit like 50,000 doctors, I'm like, that's actually like asking me if I think Chibougamau, Quebec should make decisions for Montreal. So no, I don't think it's significant. But I also like stats a lot. So like stats speak to me in a way that I don't think it speaks to the general person because I care a lot about statistical analysis. It's really relevant to what I do for a living. And like, so then when you look at numbers and you look at other numbers and you calculate percentages and you run some other shit in your head, you're like, this is not scary to me. Now what's scary is how fast that passport rolled out on a full 180 and the
we were like, I
implementation
think
of
we were the
that.
first province to get it, right? We were the first province to get it. Like Ontario only got it like I think like 2 weeks ago or something.
So that part scares the shit out of me a little bit now that I'm thinking about it. Like I went to get eggs at a restaurant. It was the first time I'd gone to a restaurant in a year and a half, and I had to like pull my phone out and go bloop bloop, and I'm like, I don't want motherfuckers to know I ate at the egg restaurant.
Exactly. It's like I also believe it's like this. I believe like I don't believe this virus is like something, but I believe that this passport is a way to implement like a type of like social credit system, or like for them to know like everything we do without them actually like needing our information. Because look, they know where we're going. They know what we're doing. It's like yes, vaccinated. Why don't we just get a paper? Why don't we just get a paper? Why do we need a QR code? Isn't that like a bit fishy to anyone?
Honestly, do you want my honest answer to that shit? Do you want my honest answer to the paper versus QR code thing?
Yeah, go.
Because motherfuckers suck at paper. They just suck. You think people are going to actually keep a piece of paper on them successfully for a long period of time and not be like trash about paper management? Like, I'm going to say I'm trash at paper management. You ask me to keep a fucking piece of paper on me. It's going to get wet. I'm going to do some shit like spill coffee on it. I'm going to fuck up my paper. And now my phone is cool. I'm actually like kind of pro like the technological use of the vaccine thing on my phone, on a sense of like realistically how the fuck else am I gonna actually manage this? I want that. Like my phone's waterproof. I can like literally, I've done it. I can like, you can like jump in a swimming pool with some of these phones and you're right.
I've done that before. Like before the phone's waterproof, and it's like I wish I had the new phones.
So that makes my like vaccination passport rainproof. If I'm like, as I cycle, I'm one of them cycle motherfuckers that be out there in the fucking rain if I have to get to place. So like, I don't want to have to like worry about garbage bags on my paper. Like there's some shit that I think the phone solves quite easily in my life personally. So I'm cool with it. And that, it's like, who doesn't have a smartphone? It kills a lot of excuses is all I'm saying.
No, I get that, but it's like, look, China implemented a social credit system 3 years ago, and I believe that this is like a way. I don't believe like some people are fucking crazy. Like they're putting vaccine to implement chips in you. I'm like, don't you think like that's not possible? Like they need to do a surgery.
Bro, you got a cell phone, you're chipped. Like it's over.
Exactly.
You're already tracked.
Exactly. So I don't get that part, but I feel like this is a way to implement a social credit system.
Yeah, I'm not against that. That's fair enough. Definitely like society's leading that way.
I'm not trying to say it's set in stone, but I believe it's a definite possibility because 3 years. I believe this was a way to do it because if you would have told people 2 years ago before the pandemic, oh, we're implementing a social credit system, people would have said, no, go fuck yourself. That's what they would have said. And they would have said, no, they're like, well, we'll just elect a new government. But this way, by doing the vaccines, they can do it without like any repercussions or any like fight back or something. You know what I mean?
So effectively, what I think I'm interpreting, and I really like what you're saying because it's interesting. I'm very familiar with the social credit system. In case y'all don't know out there, basically they use the 5G, which gives you more devices to track more shit. That's what 5G is really about, is more devices and tracking. It's not really about radiations and control. It's just better spying. Because what it'll mean is you'll have like 40 cameras hidden in a door instead of one. That's the difference between 5G and 4G, to be honest with all of y'all, once it's up and running. With
it's gonna be up and running. Very shortly, I already have some in Riverville Park. We were running.
And then like you run that back to like how the social credit score goes. It's like if you jaywalk, you lose points, but like whatever, it's like really about like civil laws and shit and decency and normative conforming behavior and shit.
Yo, if instead of losing points for fucking jaywalking, my fucking social credit system would be like at 1 or 2.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, all of a sudden, if you found out that if you jaywalked, you're gonna lose social credit opportunities, and you want to be Mr. Rapper Man. I'm in the same boat here, by the way. I still want to be Mr. Rapper Man, and I gotta think about it. That's why I got the vaccinations. I'm like, shit, I want to go to New York. Give me a shot. I don't have a choice here. It's like I want to travel, and traveling without the things back then would have meant 2 weeks of fucking sitting in a hotel by yourself, and I'm like, I'm not rich enough for that shit.
Well, actually, my parents told me about that. There's like a big protest. Like, it's illegal to do that in Canada. Like people when they came back from Canada, they were trying to put them in the hotel at the airport, and people were saying no because it's actually illegal to keep people in a hotel. So that you could have just said that's against our rights.
But like, there's there's ramifications to making that fight. Just in general, like basically, like my work might see that shit, and I don't know if I want that smoke. So unfortunately, there are already actually on like a social credit kind of idea. I had like there's this wildly big epiphany that I had where my like CEO's my Facebook friend. And I'm sure he doesn't necessarily peep everything I do, but I'm pretty sure they peep some shit I do. So I gotta be a little bit wise. Like there's certain things I never talk about online. Just never bring it up. And like I keep it to a degree of tame because
there's like a certain thing you just like some aspects of information you just don't say online because like you said, once it's online, it's always online.
But the other side of it is I find our current financial credit system and the rules of behavioral conduct required to elevate in social status to be almost exactly in manifestation the way that the Chinese social credit system plays out, except that we get to say fuck more and they get to do some other shit different. But like honestly, you climb the social ladder a bit and you just get the same rules. You just get the same shit already. There's invisible versions of it. And I only say this because I'm really bad at it. Like people who have met me in real life and shit can attest that I might not be the most socially elegant person. And so I study like the behavioral dynamic rules a little bit so I can like have less friction in my life, so to speak. And like even my haircut and shit might be preventing opportunities in my life and shit just on the rules of how certain things and forces at play.
I know what you mean.
So it's like, yeah, you could say there's a fear of a social credit system coming. To me, it would just add a number to something that already exists. It would be my feelings on that.
I agree with you on that.
So I'm not afraid of it. It's already here for me. I already feel the pressures of it. I adapt a little more than I thought I would when I was younger. And I don't hate it. I kind of like my life a lot more now. It's like reduce friction, but like keep principles. And that's important to me.
I get that.
Yeah, no, I feel what you're saying. That was super nifty. All of your thoughts on that. But unfortunately, I don't think there's a lot of choice. Basically, you go perform even. I think there's still clauses where if you're a performer, you can get around needing to be vaccinated on some. It's illegal to ask your employees if they got the shot. For now, I'm gonna say for now.
Okay, I believe it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. They're gonna make more rules and stuff like that. You're not gonna go to work or something. Look, my dad. My dad, he works for the government. They said if you don't get vaccinated, you have to retire. Because my dad's fucking pissed the fuck off because he's only getting half of his pension, and he was supposed to retire in like 3 years and get his full pension.
That's
So,
fucking wild.
and he's fucking mad. Like I mean, like he lost like he was supposed to get a pension of like I think $120,000 a year, and he's only getting 60.
I'd be livid. Very
He's
livid.
fucking infuriated. He literally anyone he just because like he's okay with me getting a vaccine. He understands like I need to make I want to live my life. I want to do my stuff. He understands that, but he says you come to my house and you try to send me take my vaccine. He's like get the fuck out of my house. He's like it's my right. And he's my choice. He's like especially like I'm getting forced to retire now because I don't want to hear your stupid shit. He's like I don't want to take it, and I completely understand because there is risks. He's like he's a little older. He's not 60 yet, but he's gonna be like he's like 58 years old, and it's like there is a risk. You know what I mean? At that age. And like, I can understand him from not wanting to take that risk. He's in perfectly good health. He has no heart attacks, no nothing. You know what I mean? Like, why would he take the risk? And it's not like he's gonna get COVID. He doesn't really go out anywhere. You know what I mean? My dad's like kind of the person who stays at home and does like his own things.
Yeah, that's actually like really big. I never thought about that angle. I mean, I know it's kicked in, right? And I guess there's a lot of people I see angry about it, and I understand it. But like from a position of like I don't live it, so it's that like
You can't like it as like
and I hear shit like that, and I'm like, say a word, eh? That's some logistical shits where like, yo, that's like, imagine how many pensions that hit. Like on my like conspiracy theorist side of shit, because I do have a little bit of a conspiracy theorist brain when I hear shit like that. It's like, say a word. I wonder if there was like, okay, we can save this much money if we get this many people to retire early and fuck it. Because, yo, like, they be wildly, in my opinion, doing that kind of economic bullshit. If you tell me about white-collar crime, I believe it most of the time with the government.
oh 100%. They're trying to make money. The government, you know what I say? The government does not. They don't have anyone's best interest. They have the best interest of taking your money. They have no one's best interest. You think they care about you? Look, if the government cared about us so much, first of all, they would first of all look. More people have died from suicide than COVID this past year, and that's a topic. That's another topic to discuss. Look, if government I know for the fact that suicide things and like stuff like that to get help is not free. If our health was so important, the government would make certain health aspects free, and they do. Yeah. It's like our healthcare, but like, look, suicide has risen like I think 20% in just the last 2 years. I've done the statistics, but look. If they did care, then shouldn't this stuff be free? I thought it was what Medicare was. I thought it was we were supposed to pay for our taxes. Shouldn't your mental health be just as important as your health?
Shit, dropping bombs right here. Good. I like
True,
that.
It's a topic. It's like
no, I mean good. That's like impressive as fuck. You saying this shit? Spit that game, my guy. Don't misinterpret. Like that's fire. Say that shit.
It's true. Is it really? Is it like? Yes, you're healthy, but if you're not healthy in your mental health, it's like. You're gonna do some fuck shit, and it's like you're not gonna be happy, and you're just fuck shit, like I said.
Yeah, well, our ambulance is costing money.
Exactly, just to get an ambulance to the hospital. It's like, yes, it's Medicare. It's like you could get Medicare card, but like you still.
Yo, Medicare ain't covering your fucking ambulance.
Exactly.
Bro, take an Uber if you can. It's cheaper.
Exactly, for fuck's sakes, it's so stupid. It's like I don't like the point of. Like you could get your fucking leg cut off and like you can't go to the hospital because you have to like say you get your leg cut off or something, you get hit by a car and a car runs over your leg and no one fucking like the car drives off, like just runs off or something, right? You say you're broke, you have no money, you have to technically find a way to the hospital.
No, you get the bill after. You're gonna be able to take it.
Yeah, I know, but like it's fucked because you're not. Let's say you're broke, and you're broke. Like I mean, you have no money at all, and then you're fucked. Look, it should be a free like an ambulance should be free. Like you said, it should be free in my personal opinion. It should be free. Look, it should come in the cost of Medicare, and same for mental health. Your mental health is just as important as your fucking regular health.
Yeah, there'd be a huge argument to be made that by focusing on mental health, people would live healthier, thus reducing total medical costs. That would be an argument that probably should be studied if it's not studied. I'm sure some fucking countries have that data, though. We just don't have that data.
I'm sure of it for two. I'm sure of it.
Yo, it's super. What other shit are you passionate about? This is super interesting.
I might be trying to get into trading, like investing and stuff. Cause like I see people like one of my friends is very successful investing, so like I might try to invest. It's like especially now, well, maybe not now, cause like the economy system's getting fucked. Especially with the U.S., I heard they're running out of money the 18th.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the U.S. is the government. I don't know if you heard about that. Every majority like stockholders and shit, they pulled all their investments because the U.S. is literally running out of money, and they're running out of money on the 18th of October, the government, and they're gonna try to fix it by raising up debts.
Say
Which,
a fucking word. Yo, keep talking your game, my guy.
I'm telling you, it's gonna cause a big issue because look, I don't think people are gonna want to raise up their debts and want to pay more. So the government's not gonna get any money. The economy's gonna go to shit. So that people's investments are gonna drop to the ground. People are gonna lose money like it's no tomorrow. It's gonna cause a big. I feel like this is not maybe the Great Depression, but there's gonna be some kind of like big time problem here with the economy system,
Yo,
especially maybe not
your
in Canada
shit's
as
on
much.
CNN though. Like that shit's right there on CNN. A whole big old article on exactly what you're describing, my dude. That's fucking fascinating. I have not followed this at
I know
all.
some shit. I know some shit. Like I always try to stay involved with the economy, the government, what's going on because like I haven't invested yet. I'm trying to save up some cash and focus on my music career at the same time and my schooling. But like as like I said, I want to invest. I know what's going around the world. I know like certain things, and like my friends, they also tell me like I have my boy. I sent him, my boy's investing. He's been investing. I sent that to him because he's not here. I sent it to him, and he told me that pull out of all your investments and invest into like crypto, like a certain crypto. I think I don't remember the exact crypto because he's like, watch. He's like, the world's gonna go to shit in a few years, and just sit back and watch as that certain thing goes up. He's like, everything else will go to shit. He's like, but watch. I don't know. I'm not gonna invest in it. I'm just gonna let things play out. I'm gonna wait till the economy starts. Right before it starts to boom, I might invest.
I appreciate that a lot. I think a lot of people be watching like that too. Yo, it's wildly interesting. I was talking to my dad yesterday. I haven't fucking seen in a minute. And basically, he's like, you should invest in water and gas masks. Everything's going to get fucked up in the next couple of years. And we'll just you watch. And I'm like, huh. Very different source of information. Ultimately, not that different outcome.
Oh, the world will get. People, I think the world's gonna get worse before it gets better. I think everything's gonna go to real fucking shit, like a real shitstorm. People think that this pandemic was a shitstorm. Yes, it was a pandemic, but compared to other pandemics, this pandemic killed literally no one. Or like it killed people, but it didn't kill people to the amounts other pandemics, like 1/3 of the world. You know what I mean? Like the Spanish flu wiped out 1/3 of the fucking world. Like people don't understand that if 1/3 of the people were just drop dead, like people like in this pandemic, you didn't see people dropping dead in the streets. You know what I mean? You didn't see body bags. We just saw like it is a pandemic, but I think it was blown into proportion to what it was, and that's why I have a lot of people that disagree with what I'm saying. And I'm just trying to say like it kills. Just do the facts, do the research. It only kills about 2% of people.
This is
And
where
yes,
like stats come into it, right? So I did like quantitative methods and then
I
advanced
did that too.
quantitative methods and then whatever the third one is where you fucking run a study or do a bunch of research shit
It's
and
like
social.
methodology, or I don't know. I did
I
methodology.
think it was IS. That's all I remember. The fucking name of this shit was IS. And then there's oh
Yeah,
yeah, there's also research methods. So
yeah, I have to
you
do it before I fucking graduate. I have to do one of two of them.
yeah, so I took that shit when I did social sciences back in the day. And all things considered, it's stat class. And it teaches you about shit like nominal, ordinal, and the other one, right? The layers of stats.
Hmm.
Nominal is basically the superficial face value of a stat. Like it says 3,000, and then the next one like adds a context layer of like what that means in relation to the world and blah blah blah. So as you deeper in your understanding of statistics, it's like a lot of people wildly look at like 50,000 and think that 50,000 means a thing. Like change.org is a wildly interesting example of how this plays out. People will collect 80,000 signatures on a change.org with no postal code. It is not hard on a planet of 8 billion people to collect 80,000 signatures on a sensationalized cause for this or that. It's not easy, but it's also not hard in the way that you would think.
Oh no,
Um,
especially not social media. And you look, there's people, especially you can just get a post to TikTok. It gets like 100 million views, or not even 100 million, just a million views. You probably got like what 20, maybe 20,000. You may get, even if you get like 2,000 donations, that's still a fuck ton of money.
money, yeah, but like when we're
Or not
talking
money,
about
but signatures. Sorry, signatures. My apologies.
and that again doesn't translate into like okay, so what's the issue and how many people are impacted by it? So you have to go a percentage of population, and that's always like something that you have to keep in mind. But I don't think that people think like that when they see shit, and I'm just reading thousands of Facebook comments over my life and shit. I don't think people see 5,000 and consider the percentage of global population size, statistical relevancy to the greater population, and all that other shit that you're supposed to do when you see 5,000 people did this, that, the next thing. And unless it's like the right story, it feels funny to me the way people interpret stats. And I think a lot of it is that creates a weird vibe in life where it's cool that like you focus on that shit.
For sure.
Yeah, all of it is wild. Like you definitely have a plethora of interests. Do you have like other hobbies and shit that you hope to get up to outside of music?
I think hobbies. I hope to make some money. Some money. I don't have any hobbies. Like maybe like one day I'd like to like maybe settle down, like start a family, even like with this music shit. Like even if I like do go somewhere, like even one day I'd like to like. Other than that, like, I don't really have any hobbies besides like sports. I like to play video games a bit. But like that's when I have time to do it. Uh, Smoking a bit. I like to drink, going out, really just like typical shit. You know what I mean? Nothing like out of the ordinary. Maybe I like to pick up the guitar again. Like, I haven't picked it up in a long time. Maybe I like to
Mm.
learn again. Be a good thing.
Do you make beats?
I do not make beats. I don't make beats. I find my beats and shit like that. I spend a lot of time on my beats looking for like. I don't know if you realize. I feel like when the beats I showed you, like 7 pack, I feel like each beat was different and had his own unique. I like to maybe think about like I have my boy, one of my friends too. He's starting to get into like not my producer. I have a boy who's just, one of my boys. My friend's Justin. He's trying to get into producing. Like he just started, but like I'm not really into producing. Like I feel like I've seen like my producer do it, and like I'm not stupid, but that shit is fucking complicated, like to the
Right.
max. Like especially producing, maybe not making a beat, but producing interests me, but like it's fucking complicated. Like I see my producer do it, like in front of it, and it's like some of the most complicated shit I've ever seen. Like it's like you have to hit the like exactly like it's like not even like if your equipment matters too. The equipment you have matters way more.
Right. I don't know if the equipment matters to a degree. Yes. Then
I
there's
think it's like
I
it
meet
makes
17-year-olds with iPhones that do wonders, and you're like, you're 17 with an iPhone. How? But that's a real thing that's happening now.
oh
But
yeah, there's people that can do like they can produce on their phone and shit. Like I don't know how you can do that, but like
knowledge of sound engineering.
yeah, it's like there's a school. You just went to schools for it and shit. Just it's confusing as fuck. Fine. Yeah, I've tried just picking it up and it's like it's confusing.
That's fair. Nah, it's not for everyone. I'm not a huge fan of engineering. I don't like it at all. I like marketing and business and that side of shit a lot more, actually.
I like business. I did some business courses in school, very well in them. I like business, economics, and stuff like that. Business, trading, investments, stuff like that. Stock market. That stuff interests me. What's going like? Because like it's like you. I wouldn't mind doing like I said investing before because like it helps like if you know what's going on in the world and you know what's actually that's going on, you have a good chance of making money. It doesn't guarantee you anything, but especially now, so many people doing it, I feel like that's an interest I want to pursue. Definitely.
So you want to stay knowledgeable of current affairs so you can invest better.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's a bad thing at all. Do a lot of people feel that way?
I know a lot of people that investing, people younger than me. Like my friends, one of my friends, 18, he just started investing. It's
Uh,
like because you can make so much. People don't understand it's such a tool nowadays. You can literally be financially free if you get really good at it. You not have to work a job, not have to do anything. Just live your life and enjoy every second of it. But it also has times of dedication where you need to be up at 4 in the morning, up in the stock markets, make the right calls. Like I have my friend, I told you he's a successful one. I see this guy. He told me he gets up at 4 in the morning and he'll like stay up till like the whole day. Like he'll go up on like 2 hours of sleep just to like for the stock market because he needs to be up at that time. If not, he makes no money.
and you have to do that every day.
Yeah. Well, not every day. Some days you just watch the market. You know what I mean? You just like look at it. Some days you don't touch it at all. Some days you realize like nothing happened. Really depends on the market and how things are going to be going.
That's wild. That seems like
The world economic plays a big factor. Like I said before, right now, not the time to be investing. Not the time. And if I was anyone investing, I would pull out my investments ASAP before you lose your money.
I mean, it's just
Or you could
wild
look,
that you're saying
or
that shit.
I could be completely wrong, and the U.S. will make their money, and everyone will pay the debts, and I'll look like a fucking idiot in a few days, in like 3 weeks. But
I just think they're gonna change the goalpost, my guy. I don't think they're gonna make their debts, but I think what happens in moments like this is if faith in the U.S. currency diminishes, it creates bigger problems. So they just change the rules. That's my honest belief. They'll be like, oh, now the new deadline is this, and they'll just kick the goalpost back, and it'll be next month's problem. Because I have watched governments do shit like that a lot, actually. So I might be wrong, but
you never know. It's just prediction.
it's like I don't know. I don't see them allowing it to break down. Like my fear with crypto is all the access points are regulated, so it's like great. The shit's not regulated, but the access points are. That's like regulated as fuck then, if you ask me. As in like, yeah, you can work around it, but you're still gonna need your bank to get your money. You're still gonna need that app and hope it stays alive long. So there's shit like that that has me concerned. I don't see this like it's like the Wild West, and I'm not a gambler, so I don't fuck with it like that.
Oh, I have fucking bad gambling problems, me man. I'm never going to a casino ever again. I have bad, it's like I don't know. I lose my money, and it's like you just want to go break even, and you never break even.
That's my fear of it. I know my dad told me a story one time where he went to the casino like one of the first times and he won big. And then he chased that dragon, and it wasn't great.
The thing is, like I remember, bro. I was literally up $400, maybe like a month, 2 months ago, and I was up $400. So I was up $400 from the money I put in the casino. So I had like $600. I would have been walking away if I would have cashed out. And my dumbass went down $600. Like the money I had, I lost plus $600. You lose some,
Happens.
like it's just not a place. I realized it's not a place you go for winning. You know what I mean? It's like you're gonna lose. It's like the whole intention is for you to lose at the end of the day. They don't want you to win down there. It's like it's meant for losing.
I've been told it's an experience, and if you go with the intention of losing X amount, it's a vibe. And I'm like, nah, I could buy weed. I'm not gonna lie. That has always been my thoughts on the casino. At least I know what weed gets me.
Exactly, exactly. I lost probably like it's like yeah, like $1,500. It's
That's
like
it.
it's not that much money, but like it's money. It's like
Did you have fun though? Let's ask it. I'm curious. Do you find the experience like
honestly,
fun?
it's fun when you're winning, but as soon as you lose, you feel like fucking shit. Like it's like
Okay.
the worst feeling I find. It's fun when you're winning. It's really like an experience like no other. Like the risk, like an adrenaline rush. But then it's like when you lose, it's like you got like you feel like shit. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like you never realize that you fucked up at something really bad.
Yeah, all the time. Not as much now, but all the time.
Because that's how I explain it. That's what my experience is like. It's like real and it's like the pump, the chase, everything, and then bam, you feel like shit when you lose everything. Like complete, like you fucked up big time.
So it's like being in an abusive relationship with yourself.
Kind of. That's what I would say. Kind of, yeah.
That's wild. I mean, I love how candid you're being about it. That's like wildly unexpected, but that's fucking cool of you, in my
I'm
opinion.
really open with people. Like I said, I preach to being real. I'm gonna be I'll give you my actual opinions, my actual thing. I'm not gonna like say something less because like it's just who I am. I'm always honest with people and shit like that. I preach honesty. I preach honesty over like telling someone something they want to hear
I fucks
or
with that.
something like this maybe. Starts see things for what they are, not for what you want them to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I live heavy by that kind of shit. Like, I like the way you see the world. I would argue not everybody comes on here and talks about as much of that real shit. But I like the real shit. Like, to me, it's super interesting. I started watching I got into macroeconomics more than
Yeah, good class on
microeconomics.
good class on that. So thank
Because, like, systems interest me more than, like, and that's probably why I don't care as much about investing, because it's very micro. And I mean, yeah, you need a sense of macro, but, like, the macro world is just so, like, under talked about, like how the GDPs of countries affect each other, or how like the average age of a population relative to its workforce has a greater predictor of economic growth or fucking fall than almost anything else. And there's these like factors at play, like America has a heavy old people population, thus there's a lesser percentage of the population working, contributing to the greater good, with a lot of wealth hoarding on the older end. These are all things that matter. So like, if like when COVID kicked in, one of my thoughts was like, oh, say a word, a lot of people are gonna actually like die in the older end of it, and it's gonna solve some problems for the government, just on social services and the economic health realities of old people. And I was like, fucking say a word. Versus
Well,
other places with heavy young populations are thriving.
completely, I completely agree with you on that part. Um,
Yeah,
no, I agree with you on that part. I think I agree with you on that part, 100%.
that kind of shit super interests me. But I really like the way your perspective at all. So when do you have like new shit coming?
My mixtape's dropping at some point this month. I haven't put a date on it because like I'm gonna keep it like a little surprise, like make people with the anticipation. Like I'm not gonna tell them when it's gonna come. I'm probably not gonna just. I'm just gonna. I might just like maybe like a day before. I might be like mixtape dropping. That'd be it. But I love to give people that like anticipation. I don't want them to like know what's gonna happen. Or maybe I'll do
Right.
like a little save. I have no idea. I have no idea. I just know it's coming like this month. Currently everything's clocked in. All my music's clocked in. I have maybe a track or two I want to add into the mixtape. Other than that, everything's clocked in. Yeah.
Where are you dropping it?
It'll be on most platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud. It'll be on maybe even Deezer. It might be on like Amazon Music too. Maybe it'll be on a lot of music. Mostly all platforms.
Yeah, I respect that a lot. Do you use DistroKid or some shit?
I haven't decided what I'm gonna use yet. I used in the past something I don't like. I'm not gonna use that again. It was too
Mm.
complicated shit. And funny on story, I put a when I dropped my song for "Love's a Bad Thing" on Apple Music. There's like some dude. And it's my music and it's like my profile. But there's like some dude. He's black. My profile picture is some black guy that I don't know, and it's like it's fucking weird. They just gave me that profile.
Mm. That has to do with the possibility that there's more than one young Andre out there, and there's some profile fixer shits that exist at least in DistroKid that you can like manage it. But basically, how it used to work is like you just distributed it, right, and whoever got the name first, everything got put under it. Like I actually had to rebrand over this because there wasn't even tools to deal with it, and there wasn't a way to split it, so you could only have like one artist name for a fucking profile, right? Now all of a sudden, like, they just decide based off of the name alone. So they scan it, they go, this is the most relevant young Andre, it must be this guy, and they put it with that. So they just kind of attached it. But usually there is a way to like separate the
No,
shit.
like it's definitely it's my music. It's like my music in my account. It says my like it has like my shit in it, but it's like some random ass picture of some random dude. I guess I just put like a random photo up and it was like weird.
Fair. I don't know why they did that, but yo, they do some
It
wild
worked on
shit with that.
Spotify. Spotify it was working fine, but it was like Apple Music only.
Each one of these stores is mad independent to the distributor, right? So like they all kind of behave like as
Yeah, I'm gonna
independent
probably use like
ecosystems.
DistroKid or I might even just do SoundCloud like my description to SoundCloud because I know they can put it on all the platforms.
Say word. I didn't know they do that.
Yeah, I didn't know either. My friend did it. Yeah, he does music too. Told me about it. He's like, bro, he's like, you should use SoundCloud. He's like, that way you can get it on as soon as it'll drop on SoundCloud, it'll drop on the Spotify and Apple Music. I'm like, that's chill. I was like, maybe it's a lot easier too since I already have a SoundCloud account.
Fair. I'll look into that. But I definitely like think that's dope. I'm looking forward to hearing your project. No, are you gonna do videos for it?
I'm gonna do some videos. I'm probably gonna drop the mixtape first because it's been like a year since I dropped, and it's like I've been like, oh, like people have been like telling me, yo, drop, like, and I'm like, it's not ready, bro. I was like, gotta put some more work in. Like I'm trying to like do a good track here, and it's like, but like yeah, I'm trying to do some music videos later. I'm gonna drop the mixtape. I'm just trying to build my audience a bit. But yeah, I think it'll go somewhere. I think my mixtape will definitely go somewhere. I'm definitely gonna do a music video so people can like see my face and shit. Cause like all they see is my profile and that's all they really think of.
Right. That's usually how it goes, especially with like unfortunately the nature of coming with the internet. But visuals definitely help attach the identity to it.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Do you have any other like last shit you want to say to the folks out there?
No, not really. Honestly, nothing that comes to mind. Do you have anything you want to ask me? Like last?
Nah, man. That's where I'm like, we covered a lot. We hit around the 2 hour mark at this point, which to me is blessed. I'm like the kind of person where I'm like, if I don't feel 1,000% sure where to take it and nobody sparks a thing up, sometimes I say that shit and the next thing you know, another hour goes by. Sometimes I'm like, nah, that's the right ending point. And then worst case, we book another one, talk more, because you're a really interesting dude. I
Appreciate
really
it.
enjoyed the experience of it. It's super reminding me of when I was younger a little bit, but also like an authentic thing. For me, the value of this is I don't think as many people in my position do make the effort to talk to, like, not to say all of them. Some of them are really smart as fuck and they're on their youth game. But a lot of people in the English scene, I don't think are as connected to the younger English scene, at least in the circles I roll in, and it creates an ignorance gap. So it's like super inspiring to see how much you care about all the things you care about, and just to get like a better understanding of you. You know, like, I mean, for me, it's like an Instagram profile, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, say what? This guy's like, you got 2 hours? Like, sometimes you don't know what to expect, right? Or you'll
Yeah,
have
and I mean,
people come in with like prolific careers, and like after an hour, they're like, I'm done. Gotta go. I'm like, okay, fair enough. You know, like, so it's cool to like see you come through as such like a fresh energy that isn't always as encountered by me, and it's kind of nice. So I appreciate that. Also, not tomorrow because the rain, but if you are free on a Sunday in the afternoon, fucking come down to the park and fucking come do your thing.
for sure. I'll try. Tomorrow. Well,
No,
not tomorrow 'cause
tomorrow's
it's raining.
heavy. It's not
But
gonna happen. It's also far as fuck for you. Don't even get me wrong. I know that because it's up in NDG. But
yeah,
if you
yeah,
want to, you can come rap your shit.
for sure. But if I don't have anything to do, for sure, for sure. It's like a lot of things on my plate right now. School, work, music too. I'm dropping. It's like a lot of shit.
I hear you, man.
Hockey, my hockey's starting up soon too. When I get my second vax.
I appreciate that. But it was great to have you. All your links are gonna be in the description, so they're all like down below, and they can follow you. And you should do that. All the support stuff. It's great to have had this chat. Appreciate everyone watching this. Y'all are wonderful too.
How many
Make
people joined by chance?
It peaked around 11. It's currently at 7. It's gone up and down. So the number of people, I don't know in total, but a couple more on Facebook popped in and out. It's more like that's how it is. It's an up and down, but it stayed above 7. About 95% it is. So that's pretty good. Definitely some people watched. It's not insane numbers, but relative to my reality, this was a hotter interview. This time slot might have to do with it, the rain, blah, 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 whatever. Maybe just who you is. DJ Magnanimous showed up, so if you still here, shout out DJ Magnanimous. Y'all should go follow him. Yeah, it's dope, man. So, and then post it to YouTube after, put it on the Clips channel, bleep, and then mostly it's gonna be what you bring from that at that point. But again, it's dope to have you here and all of you watching. It's great, all of it, man.
Appreciate everyone who came out. I
And
appreciate everyone who came out to watch. Much love.
and for the future people watching too, love y'all as well. Like, follow, subscribe, comment, all that good shit. And on that note, everyone, live long and prosper.
Peace.